I will show you my method of repainting the Gamo, Crossman, Remington, and custom targets to look like new. The easy way, with a homemade accent template to make it easier. First, I usually start off with coating the faceplate with carburetor cleaner and let it sit a few minutes. This makes it easier if you're going to use a scraper or wipe it off in repeated layers. But I like the old Tool Time show with Tim the Toolman's motto, more power. The wire wheel will do a good job of removing all the paint, especially after you've soaked it. Once the paint's removed, then you can go back at it with a sanding disc. These really get it clean. I use Rust-Oleum XX paint in order to coat all my targets. Other brands of paint that I've used seem to flake and chip and pop off a lot easier than the Rust-Oleum. Now for the template parts. Walmart has a 5-pack of clear dividers for a couple of dollars. For the rabbit project, we only need one sheet. You'll need an X-Acto or similar cutting knife and an old or new cutting board. But don't use your wife's or you'll be in for it, I know. Then place the target face on a piece of plain paper and trace its outline. After you're done, put the semi-transparent plastic divider onto the outline and trace where you want to define the areas to be painted. Next, simply cut the area you outlined and remove the piece. In the case of the rabbit here, I wanted to show some definition of the belly, ears, tail, and eye. The template makes the repainting consistent each time you do it. To get the eye perfectly round, I use a hole punch. Most times you cannot reach it from the edge of the plastic, so you just cut a slit up close enough to make the hole. Before painting with the template, just tape the slit. This faceplate for this particular Remington target only gets white and black for the eye, so with just 2 colors, 2 pieces of the divider were not necessary. I simply covered the eye with painter's tape and then sprayed the white paint. Then, covering the white areas of the template with either tape or cardboard, I sprayed the black after the white had dried. Here I painted the rabbit with the base color of brown. Using semi-gloss, it goes on wet, but it dries pretty flat. Allow enough time in between coats, or the plastic divider template will stick to it. Now to spray the white definitions onto the target. In most cases, you don't need a heavy coat, just an accent. Here's what our bunny looks like without his eye yet. Here he is, sprayed up with his eye, and ready to go for most cases. As you can see, the finished sprayed rabbit is okay to go, except I'd like to add a little bit more detail. I go to the craft supply store like AC Moore or Michaels and get acrylic paints. I then like to define the white with a fan brush to give it a more hairy look. Just simply dabbing it around the edges of the white that you painted with the template gives it just a little bit more of a hairy definition to the paint. It doesn't take very much paint in order to make it look good. Usually just dabbing it on the side of a plastic plate will give you just enough on there to make it look nice. Use easy brush strokes and you're done. Then the eye gets a line above it to make the eye look softer like a true bunny. After that, dip it in white paint and take that thin point brush and add a tiny white dot off-center to the eye for a realistic eye shine. After that, then I'm finished. Here's our bunny ready to get shot at. With my custom targets, I make a template for each color so I don't need to tape it so much. Some of my custom design targets get a lot of hand painting treatment for more accent, but the standard commercial targets are basically 1 or 2 colors. Here's a Remington Warthog I repainted to look more realistic. Here is another of the same targets where I removed the long snout and tusk and painted it as a domestic hog. Use your imagination and have fun. If you competed at the 2015 AFTA Nationals in Ennis, North Carolina, you'll recognize several of these targets here. You shot them at that championship. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you can use some of the tips that I put down here. Thank you for watching.